Yo, it's been a while since I picked up a mic. I'm just gonna sit here, rant about whatever the fuck I want to rant about. The usual. Now, I'm officially in my unk era. How do I know this? How do I know I'm in my unk stages of life now? What are my key indicators? I'm 20 years old, dude. I've been on this earth for 2 decades. I'm thinking, and my frontal lobe isn't developed yet, but it's kind of developing. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it develop in real time. How do I know it's developing in real time? Fuck, man. Some of the things I used to do when I was younger no longer interest me, and I feel like that's a good and bad thing. But we could talk about that more later in the video if you want to. What this real video is about how you're in your unk stage, I'm in my unk stage, we're all in our unk stages of life, and we don't know how to deal with it. We don't know what to do. And before someone says,
Man, 20 isn't unk. Man, 20, man, you still got so much life to live. Man, 20, man, you could be doing so much for 20 years, man.
listen, I'm making this video for not just me, but for anybody that feels the way I feel, for anyone that thinks the way I think. This video isn't just for me, just so I can get off my chest. This video is also for anyone that feels the way I feel. You're 20 years old. You thought you would be somewhere by now. You're now, probably in college if you're normal. You're in community college if you're like me, a step below normal. Or you're probably somewhere unemployed, doom scrolling, gooning right now, if you're actually normal for a 20-year-old. But besides all those points, you're probably somewhere, not where you thought you would be at 20. You used to be a kid, and you used to watch YouTube videos, and you used to think, I'm going to be like them when I'm 20. I'm going to do this by 20. I'm going to do that by 20. By 20, by 20, by 20, by this, by this, by this. We've been thrust upon with this standard that we have to hit such high goals at such a young age that I feel like that people are slowly losing the value of these things. I feel like people are slowly becoming more, what's the word? People are becoming more, I don't even know the word, YouTube. They just want more at such a young age. It's crazy. And I feel like it's not just my generation that feels this way. It's even the younger generation below me that feels this way. I feel like as the generations get younger and younger, the expectation to have more and more at a certain age just grows and grows. And I'm not saying this as a shield for anybody to still be living in their mom's basement at the age of 30. Not that. I'm just saying that this should just, be a wake-up call for anyone in my age range, anyone that feels the way I feel, anyone that feels this certain way. It's okay, dude. Like, you're not gonna have a 6-figure job with a Lamborghini and 2 bad bitches on your left and right at 20 years old, bro. You're not gonna be somewhere in Malibu, goddamn popping bottles with your favorite rapper. That's not how that works. Just because you see people do it doesn't mean that you can do it. And I'm not saying you can't do it. But holding yourself to the standard of other people is inherently wrong. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have dreams and you shouldn't have goals and you shouldn't have aspirations. Nothing of that nature. But the idea that if you don't hit that goal, that you are a failure is inherently wrong. And I feel like a lot of people feel this way in my generation. I feel like a lot of people feel as if they're not making $1 million by 20, they're failing. I feel like a lot of people see all over the internet, oh, it's so easy to be a millionaire this, it's so easy to be a millionaire that their perception of money has changed, that their idea that if you can't stack up 100 bands by tomorrow, you a broke ass nigga. None of that is real, And if you feel that way, it's okay. But to always put yourself on this timeline, to put yourself on an arbitrary clock to reach a goal that most people don't reach in their entire lives is crazy. The idea that you are forced to do some things that some people have never done in their entire life is crazy. And if you do, it's impressive. But to be the expectation, to be the bare minimum, to be the idea that you have to do this or you're a failure is crazy. And I just want to come from the idea of where did all this come from? Where did this idea that if you're not a millionaire by 20, you're broke, you're dumb, you're failing at life? What came up with this idea? Like, where can we deconstruct this and where did they come from? Now, I don't want to blame anybody, and surely I don't want to push the blame too much onto a certain group of people. But if I had to come up with a theory of where this idea that if you're not rich and successful by a certain age, you are inherently a failure, it's not even like a certain group of, like, it's not even like a man or woman thing. It's not even like it's not even that. My idea is it came from the people you used to watch. Think about it. When you were younger, guys and girls would be famous at the age that you are at. I'm 20 years old. At my age, when I was a kid, I was watching, like, what? I was watching Rice Gum, and when he was 20, he was somewhere being rich and famous. FaZe Banks, somewhere being rich and famous. Alyssa Violet, somewhere. Jake Paul being somewhere rich and famous. Logan Paul, somewhere rich and, like, KSI, somewhere rich and famous. Like, when you think about the people we used to watch growing up, the idea that they got rich and famous by our age is what skews our perception. We saw them do it, so we view that we can do it. And I'm not saying none of us could do it, because I've seen a lot of people come from nothing. I'm not one of those people that ever claim that just because they did doesn't mean no one else can. But what I will claim is that putting yourself on an arbitrary clock is wrong. Just because those guys did it when they did it doesn't mean that you have to do it by their time. That's all I'm saying. Now that we figured out, or not figured out, or where I believe this whole notion came from, how do we solve it? I feel like a lot of people just gotta stop emphasizing age on things. This girl's the youngest person to ever reach $1 million. This girl's the youngest person to ever do this. This person's the youngest girl to ever do that, and da 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 da. I don't think that we should ever put age on things. I don't think putting age on things is bad, because highlighting someone doing good at their youth is like very amazing. But emphasizing the age and forcing people to be on an arbitrary clock is crazy. I'm watching kids younger than me saying I'm a failure at 16 because I'm not a rapper at Rolling Loud. Dude, you're not Baby Chief. You're not Baby Kia. You're not none of those little. You're not insert little. Like, you're not that, dude. And I'm not saying you can't be that, but to put yourself on their time schedule is wrong. It's wrong not just for them because you're not. It's wrong for them because you're. What is it? What's the word? You're I've been smoking too much. You are discrediting the work that they put in by saying, oh, they did it at that age, I should be able to. You're discrediting their work ethic and their talent. And you're also undervaluing your timeline and what you could do and your potential. Not everybody has to do the same thing at the same time. I never said that, and I will never claim that. But this video was made just for anyone that feels that way. This video was made for anyone that feels like they're on an arbitrary clock. And this video is made for anybody that feels that they have to do something at a certain time. You don't have to do anything at a certain time. All you have to do is be you. Alright, now that we're done with the cheesy, corny stuff, bye.